Welcome back, viewer. This is Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking and asking, is marriage a scam? What is your take on that? What would you say? Is marriage working out for you? Or are you in the school of thought of saying it is indeed a scam? What is making you say it is a scam? Have you been conned? Have you been abused? Have you gone through trauma for you to say that? Interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, Mr. David, you're taking us through the mental issues of why people are not agreeing and are going through the mental issues broadly, simply because they're not ready to accept that they are sick. Please continue.
Yes, we find that there are a lot of challenges even across wherever we are, but also the greatest challenge is in the marriage, because before you came maybe in this kind of a studio here, you have come from a family. Before you go to church, you're coming from a family. Before you go for a holiday, you're coming from a family. So there is a lot of issues that are surrounding marriages today. And one of the reasons why some people are calling it a scam, it is because they had wrong reasons of coming into the marriage, of what they are going to get from the marriage, and not what I am contributing towards the building of this. And when the reality comes now that, well, you are supposed to be the wife, is supposed to be a helper, is not supposed to be the head, is the helper. So when now the wife starts behaving like the head, then the head says, no, you are the helper. You're supposed to complement what I'm saying. Then it becomes a problem there. And because now when you look at a woman of today, she's so much empowered. Very much empowered. She can be able to earn, she can be able to budget, she can be able to plan her own finances. But then in a marriage setup, you need to agree. Your earnings and my earnings, they are our earnings. It is not your money, it is not my money, it is our money. Let's plan on this. So when you come with the independence that you had, with the financial independence before you came into the marriage, then here the husband says, hey, let's bring our earnings together, let's plan together. And you say, no. I'm the CEO of this particular office. And then you say, I'm also the manager of this particular firm. So it becomes a little bit difficult. Now, when it goes extreme, if you are not able to balance between your husband and your office, becomes a problem, which is a mental problem. And some people say, I am not sick, I am okay. But then we talked about patterns. If you are not able to balance your work, you are not able to balance your emotions, you are not able to balance your family, then it becomes an issue. So that is why we need to have support system, as I had said before, around us. Some friends who can be able to talk with. And I would recommend that each and every person, probably you can do what we call a support group, maybe 5 families. You can be able to do a group whereby you can be able to just have a conversation as a support group and say, these are some of the challenges I'm going through in my family. This is how I navigate it. But when you keep on listening to people out there, how they are speaking, how marriages are not working, how their husband behaved, how their wife behaves, then you'll form a very different picture. Remember, this is your marriage. If there is a challenge, we can always work through it. I have also had a lot of marriage counselings, whereby the husband says, my wife is so much concerned with their family. And then she is forgetting that I am the husband. I am the priority. She says that she's developing their place more than our place. So they need to be guided, because now the wife can tell the husband, excuse me, before you married me, I had a place. Now she is not understanding. This is a different ball game altogether. So that is why we need to have that mental health, where we can be able to balance issues together without looking and pointing a finger and saying, you are on the wrong, I am on the right, and then you stay there. So you'll realize that because of the issues of life, there is one side, there is a lot of weight, and then the other side, it is lighter. So you need to balance issues together.
Picking from what he has said, as you add on to that, madam, he has mentioned about this is a different ball game. So as a lady, I'm saying before I came into this marriage, I have somewhere. But I'm forgetting I have been taken from that family. And now this is a new family altogether that I'm supposed to work and develop that will be called my family. It's associated with me as an individual, not me as the family of. So with that, as you add on that, also he has mentioned something to do with once you do that, and I'm a CEO of a company, maybe we have differences in financial and balancing it. Now, how do we come on the table? I've had people who are being asked, what do you bring in the marriage table? They say, I'm the whole package. So the lady is the whole package. The man is the one to work on the marriage, which I think it's something that we need to unlearn. So as we educate the viewer on that, on the things they need to unlearn and relearn the better way, for that, how do we navigate now through that and adding to what he has said?
Thank you, Eunice.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you've said has just made it even more real in me that we have to learn, and learning is a process, and that working it out is across the board, really. Sure. In very many areas in our lives. And I was just thinking, as a woman, I'm married in this family, I definitely have to build my family. You cannot now spend your energies and your time on building the family you came from, because now this is the central family that you must build. Your name even changes from Kamau to Otieno, or from whatever it was. Your name changes, and with the change of name, your allegiance changes, and yours is to continue just supporting your parents, being available for them, and in wisdom building your home while still able to help in the home that you came from. Mm-hmm. Others in this other area of finances and working, and the money I have is the money he doesn't have. We live in very challenging times, I believe, but I thank God because the word is clear. These days they even have something that is called prenups, that before we marry, because he owns a lot of property and I'm coming from a position where we don't have, we must sign prenups that should we divorce, I'm not going to ask for his property. Or I have the property, he'll not ask for mine.
But don't you think that one is introduced because of the things that you have? I'm getting into marriage simply because I've seen this is an opportunity. This one is indeed, it's an opportunity.
Exactly.
He has money, he has everything, he's genuine, because like some time back, I'm quoting from this footballer who had signed everything under the mother's name, simply because this lady was getting into marriage just to stay there for some little time and ask divorce, and then ask from some unreasonable amount of wealth, which she has not worked on. Even the other side, we're also having female entrepreneurs who have worked and established everything, and they are good to go. And now this young man sees an opportunity, and that is why I think they have introduced prenups. Now, at what stage, or how now do we navigate through it to see, or how do we tell this one is coming into this marriage genuinely ready to love, and this one is coming for the opportunities that he or she is seeing? Because by the end of the day, I might be wealthy, but I have the fear, simply because maybe I have seen my friends going through that, and now I have the fear, not understanding that this other person might have come in genuine. And if you subject me to signing those prenups, I'll be like, wait a minute, you think I'm coming for it? Then forget it. Where are we heading into this in the first place? How are we supposed to balance? Because by the end of the day, if it is about prenups, we're supposed to sign it. I understand from the law side of it, you're supposed to sign it before getting into marriage. How are we supposed to navigate through that? Because now we are in that space. We are exposed to it. How do we navigate and make sure that we balance everything?
I think it's a real challenge. For those in the church, it should be a much easier situation to navigate through, because as we take our time in prayer, as we take our time in fellowship, I would like to think if both of us are born again, we've met in church, the way we've met, the way our relationship has grown, that relationship should bring us to a position whereby we know one another, we are secure in what we know, and prenups then may not even arise. But in situations where prenups arise from the extended families, because there are some families where wealth is like a pool, then that one is understandable. But if it's you and the man or you and the woman, and then a situation like that need not arise. But in other situations, they have a very big challenge when it comes to these things. But then again, it will depend on where they did meet, how they walk through their relationship, the people they invite into the relationship, the people who see them through as they walk through this relationship, those who are advising them as they develop this relationship, and with that they should be able to come to a place where they will know whether the relationships are genuine or not. Many I have found that end up very badly. From those, the few I have found, they have met in places that were really obscure, places where really you do not expect to find anything that is good or right for you, and then from that tried to develop something lasting. It cannot happen because the very root, the very foundation is wrong. So in such a situation, it will not happen. It will not happen. But please let me comment on Pastor and the mental issues. And I thought as he was sharing, I saw there's a lot of confusion in our people in what they are doing. And I find that our young people are informed from so many sources, including social media, celebrities, Instagram, of course, social media, programs that they watch. I don't know, forget what they are called, but they are series people watch on TV. And I remember when I was a much younger wife, there used to be one that we couldn't miss. And it would be so serious that you don't want to hear that you are not going to watch it. You'd rather go to the neighbors to watch it. But you see, the thing about these things is that they inform who we are. So you think you're watching the program and walking away as yourself, but you've carried what they are saying, and that it informs you in here. And so when your husband comes home, you are already informed. And you are not the Dorothy he thinks he married 3 years ago. Dorothy, my name. You are informed by that person, the way she's behaving, the way she's responding to the husband, and the way that man is behaving, and the way you are looking at him and you want yours to be like that. So when yours comes already, he's at a lower level because he's not like, you are being informed by those things are highly dangerous. And they are informing our young people. By the time they marry, they are all flowery. I have seen young people ready to marry, let's say like in 2-3 months time, they've already taught. And then when they go through, there used to be a program one time called, I think it was Alabastron. And as they would go through the 2-week, 3-month program, suddenly they would see themselves for who they were. And they would realize, I have not chosen the right man for this. And they would gently just break off and then go get the right person. So I would like to say that we are informed by so many things. It has brought so much confusion. And then the people who we talk with, we interact with, and we are not going back to find truth. So we are just informed by what we see. And that now ends up even being part of the mental issues we are hearing about, because it's all confusion of faith. And we no longer know where truth is. So we begin to build on what is essentially not truth. So it is bound to fail at one time or another.
Wow. This one is so interesting. But I'm being told they're running out of time.
Oh.
So apparently,
All right.
I feel that we've just talked about so little, an eighth of what we are supposed to cover of the whole issue.
Right.
So for this segment, I'll let you to give us the parting shot so that we can end up on this, but I'll be sure to have a part 2 with you, because I feel marriage is so diverse that we can never exhaust. We can talk it from morning till evening, but for sure, we cannot exhaust. A lot of things need to be talked about. A lot of things need to be touched on, and we need to educate our society.
Yeah.
So maybe starting from you, you can give us your parting shot.
Yeah, my parting shot would be that when we say that marriage is a scam, it is not a scam. It is only a scam to them that are opportunists who want to harvest where they have not planted. But marriage is sweet. But I would also want to counsel and say that before you get to a relationship, just learn about this other person. It is not possible to learn a person 100%. You keep on learning new things. But at least get to know what brings you together, what gels you together. And in courtship, ask all the questions that you want to ask. The problem, it becomes a fallacy. The problem, it becomes a scam. It is because you want to jump into it because somebody else is already in it. Peer pressure. And also, there is a lot of masks that people are putting on. Remove the mask. Be the real you. Face the reality. Work your marriage together, and you will enjoy 70th anniversary of your marriage. I'm already married 19 years. I'm looking forward for 20th. And something wonderful is working.
Thank you so much, Mr. David. And to you, Madam Dorothy.
Oh, well, let me say this. Marriage is definitely not a scam. And I'd like to say, in the time I had, perfect time, one amazing time with my husband, it is so wonderful. It is so real because, you know, the two of you become one and you speak one language, and where there are differences, difficulties, you're able to find a way out. There's always a way out. So what I would like to say to our viewers is that there is hope. Marriage is real. Marriage is beautiful. It's the coming together of two, not just physically, not just the money, but the coming together of two. Your souls, you begin to think alike. I remember in olden days, they even used to start looking alike. You'd find like Shosho and Buka look alike. Mom and dad, they look the same. And yet they came from very different families because they actually become one. And it is possible even today because the God we serve is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He changes not. So have hope and just go for truth. Go for what God has freely given unto us.
Wow. That one is so profound. Thank you so much for coming on the show and gracing our invite. Viewer, I hope you've learned as much as I have. I hope you've been able to be enlightened more and understanding that marriage indeed is not a scam, but rather marriage is a beautiful thing and marriage is work. It's the only institution. Get to graduate, get a certificate before indeed going through the lessons. So let's continue this conversation offline across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Till next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.